This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Well, right now, what it do? No, in light of one of the last comments on my last video telling me I need to go and look for a real job as a garbage YouTube and all these different things, I decided I could take my real job serious for the last 2 weeks. And really and truly, I got some good results. I ain't gonna lie, I got some real good results. So, thank you very much, Mr. Commenter. And also, bite me. But you can come for talk about though. We come for talk about something that more important than that. Or leagues more important than that. When a lot of people talk about the top 5 this or the top 10 though, especially when it comes to wrestling, a few key names is always appear. And in wrestling, there's usually here some combination of Austin, Rock, Hogan, Cena, Undertaker, Bret Hart, Michaels. You get where I'm coming from, right? It's usually be them 7 names they're calling most of the times. Or Ric Flair as well. Can't forget Ric Flair. 8 names. But really and truly, we don't hear a lot of people talking about who is pound for pound the greatest wrestler. And what I mean by that, I mean who embodies wrestling fully. I'm talking from mic skills, in-ring ability, charisma, athleticism, ring psychology, all these different things. Who encapsulates it the most? In my opinion, there's only one man. If we really want to talk about somebody the bar for wrestle, Kurt Angle bar for wrestle, bro. Hear me out. This man used to be an amateur wrestler in his days, right? Of course, we know he's a very gifted amateur wrestler. Kurt Angle went all the way to the Olympics in 1996, and I don't know if y'all hear this. I don't know if he's mentioned it a lot, but he won a gold medal with what? A broken neck. No, I'm sorry, a broken freaking neck. He's keep mentioning it for the last what? It's almost 30 years since then, and he always brings it up because that's just how resilient he is. I could bring it up a bit later, but that's just how resilient he is. Kurt Angle, a few years later, he started wrestling, trained to wrestle in 1999. And let me just remind you, right? Kurt Angle started training to professionally wrestle, as in the WWE style of wrestling. It took him like, I don't know, about 3-4 months before he was actually in the ring and then on TV. Kurt Angle did all of this, right? Did all this training and all this seasoning within a couple of months. And mind you, this is like late 1999. He went on a winning streak up until the Royal Rumble in 2000. Let me just remind you, right, that Kurt Angle started learning how to wrestle a professional wrestling style in late 1999, and come mid to late 2000, he was WWE champion. No, really and truly, he was. I'm not joking. Go back. Not only that, come WrestleMania 2000, Kurt Angle was out here having, in my opinion, 5-star matches with the likes of Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho. He was out here out wrestling. He was having like some of the best matches with Triple H and them and The Rock and all these different people in just his rookie year. In my opinion, Brock Lesnar is like the only other person that had a better rookie year than Kurt Angle, but nobody has taken to wrestling better, quicker than Kurt Angle, in my opinion, bro. And it just has, it helps that he's also an amateur wrestling savant. But just think about that for a second. Kurt started his life in WWE as a comedy heel, and then eventually he became a comedy babyface. But like, there's nobody else who could be taken seriously as a heel and also a serious wrestler the way Kurt Angle did. And not only that, he also did it in like the smartest way I ever seen, because after he shaved his head, he basically just became unhinged for a couple of years. And I don't really need to break that down more to any of you, but Kurt Angle, in the space of 3 years, right? In the space of 3 years from his debut, was in the main event of WrestleMania, had 5-star matches galore, was a multiple-time WWE and World Heavyweight Champion, and by the time he left WWE in 2006, this man had a Hall of Fame worthy career. May I remind you, this man started to train to professionally wrestle just 6 or 7 years before that. And then when he went to TNA, oh my goodness, Kurt Angle was like, when I started watching TNA in 2009, 2010, Kurt was there. And I remember seeing Kurt. I was like, yo, oh shit, Kurt Angle's over here. Kurt was putting on some killer matches around this time, bro. I think around this time, if I remember correctly, Main Event Mafia was also popping, so he was in the main event scene just tearing shit up. Kurt Angle goes out there and just goes balls to wall with the intensity. This is like the only man I ever see moonsault, and every time he moonsault, he always missing. He would just land flat on his face, and it baffled me to this day, bro. To this day, Dave Meltzer never give this man a 5-star match. Now, granted, right? Me personally, I really don't give a shit what Dave Meltzer gotta say, because he could kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned with the matches he rated for WWE over the years. Cause they had so many classic matches that should be considered 5-star matches that he never give the type of shine to. Bro, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. No, you might not call that a 5-star match, but it's on the precipice of being a 5-star match in my opinion. Kurt versus Shawn Michaels is a 5-star match. They never give you the one. Come on, bro. What we really doing, dog? Hell, I wouldn't even be mad if they give the match against Benoit 17, bro. Like, what's really the criteria? That's why I want to sit on one of these days, if I had the opportunity, to talk with Dave Meltzer and ask him what's the criteria he's going to these matches and he's ranked them with. Because I don't get it. I really don't understand. But maybe it's not for I understand. And again, I really don't give a shit about Dave Meltzer's opinions, because it's just one man's opinion, bro. It don't really make no sense. It's just baffling to me that Kurt Angle don't have no 5-star matches. But yeah, I had to make this video because, for one, I didn't put out no full video in 2 weeks, and 2, I had to get these thoughts out of my head. But one of these days I can put out like a deep dive video when it comes to Kurt Angle's initial run in WWE and why I consider that a Hall of Fame run. Just imagine that, bro. Kurt Angle, if he retired in 2006, would have still been a Hall of Famer. And I ain't talking like this arbitrary WWE Hall of Fame type that's deal with just put anybody in the Hall of Fame. I'm talking about if you took wrestling and made it and used the criteria of real sports, Kurt Angle would be in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. He'd be in any Hall of Fame, bro. Entertainment Hall of Fame, amateur wrestling, pro wrestling, all these different Hall of Fames Kurt Angle deserves to be in. And I'm not saying you gotta put Kurt Angle in your top 5, but I just want to see more people appreciate Kurt Angle, because a lot of people from Kurt Angle's generation are dying now. And for somebody who was battling his demons for so many years, I really and truly hope Kurt could live longer and prosper even more. And I'm really happy he's still here and he's around to get his flowers. You understand me? Anyways,
I'm out.